in sort of a first run out, sort of you got a chance to look at film, digest everything. Just what are your final thoughts on your debut?
There were some good things and lots of things to clean up. I think that, the most important thing is we gotta be better just at the details and understanding our job and doing our job and not trying to do too much. I think that's when we got in trouble more than anything, was where we either got sloppy in the details or tried to do too much. And I think sometimes, like in a first game, that's the case. But they just got to trust it and do the job. And like I said, know that their job's enough. And then if they do that, I think we'll be all right. And so, like I said, there's some good, plenty of bad that we got to get better at, that we'll work on. And like I said, hopefully we make leaps from game 1 to game 2 and then continue throughout the season to improve.
Obviously, one of the bads was short yardage situations, trying to get 1 or 2 yards. How do you get better there? And I mean, you're going to have to be able to run the ball to win games. So.
For sure. And we got to be better in short yardage situations. That's no question about it. And I think that probably one of the biggest, because if you look at a lot of the stats that tell you like wins and losses, we won in a lot of those categories. But I think the biggest gap where we got beat that probably was the difference in the game was the third downs. We didn't stay on the field, and they did a decent job staying on the field. And so when that happens, I think at the end of the day, the gap in that third down margin was so big, it ended up costing us. And so you got to be better in short yard situations. It's got to be something we emphasize and improve in practice, and so that'll be obviously something that we got to improve in. Or that we got to improve at, and something that we'll work on obviously this week.
How'd you assess Hudson Cards' debut?
I thought he did a pretty good job. I think he did a lot of good things. Like I've said since I've been here, Hudson has a chance to be really special. And I think that the key for him is just, like, to me, he's going to be one of the best players on the field every single Saturday, and he's got to just believe that and know it and go do it. And so, it was a first for obviously everyone, and his first start here. Like I said, he did a lot of good things. He gave us a chance to move the ball a lot. A couple times he had some guys open and kind of got hit, or I think he hits a couple more big plays. But other than that, like I said, I thought he moved the unit pretty well. I feel like, as a unit as a whole, we kind of got a lull in the third quarter. It felt like that we can't have. And other than that, did some good things. Just got to stay on the field in the third downs,
How much did you miss Garrett Miller?
The crazy thing is, since I've been here, I haven't really got to see what Garrett, you see Garrett on tape, and we'd always love to have him, and he's working his tail off every day to be back. So that'll obviously be a great added bonus when we get him.
Seems like this offense is predicated on big playmaking ability. You get an 84-yard touchdown first series. How explosive is this offense when you get guys like Tracy, like Dion, going a little bit, and 35 points, you hope to win the game? So.
Yeah, Dion, made some really big plays. So that was great to see, and we've seen that all camp. But you want to see it on, that, man, he's made a lot of explosive plays this camp. But it's good to see it happen on the game for him. You know what I mean? And so I think that it builds confidence in him and the whole group. That it just confirms what we've seen all camp, is that he's an explosive athlete. And the crazy thing is, I think there were a lot. I mean, he had an opportunity for other ones that we just had missed opportunities on. Like the small details end up getting us. A couple times on splits or kind of miscommunication with him and Hudson, or there's probably a couple more big plays for him out there. Tracy obviously made some huge plays. His touchdown run is 1 yard, but it was a heck of a run to get a yard. Obviously, the kick return was a big-time play for us, but we got plenty of others too. Those two kind of shined the other day, but we're confident in our other guys as well that they can make plays. I think Max's first catch of his career was an explosive, on a little slip screen, and so that was good to see as well. So, explosive plays are really important in any offense. I think obviously for us, we want to be explosive. That's something that we talk about a lot, that we emphasize, and when you hit explosive plays, it makes it a heck of a lot easier. So we got to continue to do that.
Just speaking about the miscommunication that happened on Saturday, how do you guys plan to kind of mend that in the future?
I think a lot of it, we got to be detailed in practice. We got to be, I think walking through, being detailed in practice, being detailed in the meeting rooms. Those are all going to be important things. But I think a lot of it was also like first game and kind of like what I touched on in the beginning. Just you get out there and you're too excited to play almost. You know what I mean? And that's something again we talk about a lot. We got to be the most excited team to play. But a lot of times you just kind of do some things you haven't done in the past, and because it's the first time in front of a crowd and you got adrenaline running, and just kind of lose your train of thought sometimes. And so we got to, like, you can't replace game experience. And so obviously getting the game under our belts was huge for us. The more experience you get, the better you get. I think in any system, but particularly in ours, I think like the more experience you can get together, especially game experience against other people, the better you'll be. And so, like I said, hopefully we have improvements from week 1 to week 2. We should be a much cleaner, much better team, and like I said, hopefully like kind of those first game jitters and mistakes get out of the way, and we can settle in and do some special things.
I know you don't want your quarterback taking hits, but can Hudson trust his legs a little bit more in some situations?
Yeah, I think he did it. I think with his legs, he just has to run forward. The other day he got run sideways sometimes, almost got killed. That's why I told him, run forward, and then we'll figure out the rest later. But no, he's a great athlete, and I think those legs will be an asset for us throughout the year. He made some good runs for us the other day, and that's something I think he can continue to do and continue to help us with.
I think Devin had just about all of his rushing yards in the second half. What led to him kind of getting going there?
I think some of it we settled in a little bit and opened up some creases there. He got some opportunities and made some guys miss, and I think that running back, like any position, like as you kind of get into a game, you kind of get a hot hand at times. You know what I mean? Like it's just, and like I said, any game, any position, it doesn't matter if it's basketball, football. Like after a while, you hit one, all of a sudden you kind of get a hot hand and get to playing at a really high level. And I think it might have been the first play of the second half. We handed it to him, and he only got 7, but he kind of made a guy miss in the hole, get 7 or 8 yards, and then from there, it felt like every time you handed it to him, he was doing good things. So that was great to see.
When you decided to go for it on 4th down, is that a feel for just the situation, or is it? I mean, I'm sure you and Coach Walter kind of mulling over what the possible scenarios are of getting it and not getting it. So.
Oh, for sure. But at the end of the day, like Walt makes the final decision on whether we're going for it or not. I'm glad he doesn't leave it up to me, or I'd always say go, right? Like I'm an offensive guy, but no, we have the discussion. Obviously, we have a lot of analytics to kind of give you, unemotional information that helps with that as well. But I think that we discuss it and understand. I mean, obviously as a team, understand what it means if you get it, what it means if you don't get it. And I think our job as an offense is to have a plan, and anytime that he gives us that opportunity, more times than not, we got to go convert that and make him right.
What are some of the potential challenges you see against Virginia Tech this coming week?
I think they're a sound group. Obviously, the head guy has been a great defensive coordinator for a long time. Their defense coordinator is a heck of a coach. So, obviously, I think that the defense is probably, an emphasis for them. They do a great job with it. We're going into it'll be our first road game, and so dealing with crowd noise, and they have a heck of an environment. We went last year. It's a fun place to play with a great crowd, and so all those things will be new. But I think like I said, like we got to go out there and do our job and make sure we do it at a high level, and the details got to be right. Like whether it be splits, whether it be routes, whether it be route depths, whether it be offensive linemen up front, being on the same page, communication. Like if we just go do our job, I think that we'll give ourselves a chance to move the football and score points every week. But that's got to be the emphasis. And like I said, when you go, if it's the first game, you got to do it well. And if you don't, you're going to make a game tight, and it can go either way. I think the same thing on the road. Like it's our first road game. We still got to go focus and do what we do. You know what I mean? We still got to focus on like, hey, if we line up in the right places, we do the right thing, we're going to give ourselves a chance to move the football and score points. We just got to make sure that we're locked in and doing our job at a high level. Anything else? Perfect.